for tapping in. We appreciate y'all. Debatable. This is
Debatable.
episode 15.
Yabba
This
dabba
is
do.
MC War.
MC.
This is the Masters in the Communities World Association of Rappers.
Grown young minds.
Mission is to inspire rappers to be masters in their community.
Facts.
And shouts out to
facts.
French Montana. We was talking about. We set it off on the last one. We talked about French versus Fab.
Right.
That would be crazy. And I like the fact that brother came from Morocco. He definitely had a whole perspective on how he was able to come. How difficult it is, and I guess how Akon also breaks that down. How Africans in America, African Americans, take for granted the opportunities that we have. But I think because there was a bunch of stuff I disagreed with on the Akon aspect of it, because it was like I don't think they realized what's the things called, the obstacles, right? Because when you come from a home that has a culture, right, and you have a certain level of grounding that I think that contributes to your ability to be successful, for you to stay out of trouble,
right?
For you to have some sort of mission and vision. You follow what I'm talking about?
It's the mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Goals, because for him, think about it. He like, yo, I'm gonna get this money and I'm gonna go back home and have 3-4 wives. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying,
seven to be exact.
He's able to do that. The average African American is not thinking like that. He don't really. His goal is what's been shown on television. On what's the shows? Good Times. What's okay, that or the Huxtables. That could be that could be a vision, but it's still that's monogamy. I mean, it is what it is. But my point is that but the thing about the Huxtables, you're looking at the Huxtables, but the moment that you get caught stealing, you follow what I'm talking about. You get you get any situation like that, you're immediately out of the Huxtable range, what I'm saying, to be able to accomplish, what they've accomplished. So I think understanding cultures is important. Just like, right now he's watching the Afghanistan, the Taliban or whatever, right? And it was like, and of course, anything that you watch, I almost want to say on YouTube, because YouTube is an American company, right? Google is an American company. Right. So it's going to be skewed. Not saying that I definitely, I don't agree with no terrorism or killing or anything like that. What I recognize is that we do have to respect other people's cultures, and what makes it right for us to come to a place like, say Afghanistan, or just name a country, say China, and say, oh, the God you worship, or the way that the way you and your women relate is not the right way.
You're touching on a real serious topic right now, because Taliban, the reason why I was watching it, because it said, I think 12 or 10 of the richest criminal organizations, right? So I clicked on it, and the Taliban came up, and it was breaking down how the reason why it makes them so successful is because they run their business they run their organization as a business. You know what I'm saying? And one of the biggest point of sale of their business is heroin. So I'm like, in my mind, as I'm watching this, before
now Google who's the biggest consumers of heroin.
But in my mind, as you're saying this, I'm like, okay, these guys are terrorists or what have you. They are, so they committing terror. Right. But then on the flip side, in America, the big pharma, produces a lot of type of heroin, which just how they're able to make lean. Okay. Lean is another form of but my point is they that's a business, but that's an accepted, legitimate business that get people overdosed and things of that nature. But my point, that's a real interesting topic, because when you start going to people's perspective, what they prescribe to, and how you're able to say, no, don't prescribe to that because I say so. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is really interesting.
Yeah, because like I said, like who says that? You know, the example. I think the perfect example is monogamy and polygamy, right?
Okay.
Who you know, why if polygamy has been going on in a country like, let's say, Senegal for, you know, centuries. I'm sorry,
Right.
probably millenniums, right?
Right.
And that's not the only African country, because even when you go into countries that are Christian based, they still in their culture, you know, still a lot of them have polygamy as a part of you know, traditional marriage. Like,
Right,
you know,
right,
people
right.
can still traditionally marry two, three, or whatever, more than one wife or whatever. And so who's to say it's wrong? Now, and of course, a woman that's from you know, from New Jersey, you know, she could say it's wrong because she grew up in a monogamous, you follow what I'm talking about, culture. Is it right for you to go to that country and say, no, oh, you're wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's this, that. You know, so, you know, even with the homosexuality thing in Ghana, you know, Ghana being like, hey, you know, 'cause I mean, I'm sure there's homosexuals in Ghana, like, you know what I'm saying? But Ghana is saying that, I think their whole mindset is like, we're not, it's definitely not being going to be something that's going to be promoted. I think it's a lot stronger than that, than what I'm saying right now. I think he done made some really, really strong statements, but at the end of the day, they're like, yo, we're not going to promote it. And then we have to realize that the American culture comes from, it will come from Europe, right? You know, because the Europeans came over, pilgrims, etc. You know what I'm saying? From what is that called, from England, and then you, of course, you had the Italians coming over, so on and so forth, and the Italians will go back to the Romans, right? The Roman Empire would have ruled over Europe at one point in time, and the Roman Empire was heavily into homosexuality. So because that culture, so think about it like this. Imagine, let's say Uganda was the most powerful country on the planet. You follow what I'm talking about? I think that, you know, and I'm talking about pre, you know, European invasion Uganda.
Right, right.
That means that the world would be, and like they had this, they were the superpower, they had the money, they had the guns. I think the world would be looking at to a different, right?
Oh yeah, definitely
Totally
story.
different,
Yeah,
right? It'd be
totally
like,
different scope.
it'd be the opposite, be like, yo, what? Look at me is where it's at. Dude told me about a video. Was it Ray? That was something about the video where dude was laughing at. Oh no, MI. My brother, shouts out to my brother MI. He was
Shouts out to MI.
talking about that video where the Arab guy was laughing at the guy that said he only got one wife.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about on the floor rolling, like, yo,
Yeah.
what was wrong with you? Like,
Yeah, you messed it up. Yeah.
so, like, I mean, you know, and that's just one, you know, subject. That's just one. I mean, what was it called? One, yeah, right. One topic within the plethora of cultural nuances, you know, that we could tap into,
Right.
or touch on. And I just think that, I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy for us to feel like we could come and force people to think and act a certain way when we are different.
I mean, you know,
Right.
they got Christmas in Africa. You know,
Right.
some places that you don't see snow at all.
Right.
And you
So
know,
on jingle bells.
and you got you know,
Like-
Santa Claus there. You know what I
Right.
mean, with the whole outfit on.
White Santa Claus at that.
You know, I mean, it's
At some point,
as it was taught, it's a spell.
at some point that got to get checked.
Nah, but it's
it
a
has,
spell.
no, listen, at some point,
Who-
this is what I'm saying. At some point, well, no, Africa's going to check it. At some point when the
I
strength
don't
is
know.
there.
I think
Yeah.
there's
They're gonna
levels.
check
I think there's
when
levels
the
to
strength
it.
is there.
I think there's
Right.
levels to it because that the way you would have to check Christmas
Well,
in
not-
Africa. I'm not check out
Okay,
the level.
okay, go ahead.
The way you would have to check Christmas in Africa is the same way you would have to check an African sister wearing a weave, like, you know, to get her to understand that you do not have to wear a weave like to look like a European look,
Right.
or Indian look, or this type of look. You could braid it. It could be long braids, so forth. It's like it's levels to that mindset, because before you can even get to the thought process for it to be accepted and appreciated, is going to be, is taken as an insult. So the moment you say, okay, Christmas is really Children's Day. It's not Christmas. It's really a day that you show children love and you get children toys and you know what I mean, and the children understand that it's coming from you and not someone coming through a chimney.
Right.
That's fondling your moms. You know what I mean, in the middle of the night for a cup of coffee and cookie.
Right.
It's like it's like it's a mindset.
Yeah, no, it is. But what I was thinking is that, okay, with the hair thing, I think that's also in time, and we're seeing that change some.
Like, in I think in
naturals more.
I think in Atlanta,
Right.
they just made a law that I forget how the law went, but it went back to the women cannot wear braids. You follow what I'm saying? And I think
braids.
it was about in school. You cannot wear your school or work. I have to look it up again, but it just
braids is also a process of straightening your hair too.
I mean, my man, braids is something that was.
I'm just saying, no, that's true. I remember that being. I remember reading that directly, like, and then at the end of the day, that
you straightening you're stretching your hair when you braid your hair. That's a fact.
So all I'm saying is that I think that's definitely one of the first things that's gonna be changing over the next decade to 20 years is the hair. I definitely think so. Because you do got a lot of African women and African American women or black women beginning to wear their hair natural. You follow what I'm talking about? They got songs about it. It's just, I think, and that's why I say in time it's going to be checked. I said I really do think in time it's going to be checked, because when you have an area that you rule over, right, and you're able to, and you begin to become more self-sufficient, which I think the continent is almost every country on the continent is day by day becoming more self-sufficient. Because think about it, everything is there. You follow what I'm talking about? Everything is there. So as they continue to grow towards self-sufficiency, it's gonna be to a point, and I mean that's why we just had this conversation. The Ghanaian government was able to say, nah, we don't care what y'all giving us. Forget about y'all aid, right, to a degree, right? And then think about it now, all of a sudden, Ghana's in all this debt. I don't know if y'all been seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, what? Ghana's in some sort of, they're in the most debt of all these African countries. Like they're in a serious, you need to Google that like I'm talking about. All of a sudden, and to me, that's all.
It's called the Crown Act, July 2nd, 2022.
That's in Tennessee, though. That's not Georgia.
Okay.
But yeah, you definitely gotta Google that, because, like I said,
the fact that you got to call it a Crown Act, you
we
recognize
gotta read what the act says.
it's not positive.
We gotta read what the act says. I mean, it probably isn't, but I need to hear it, and then I can decipher. You know what I'm saying? But again, what can you expect from a place that you are not the majority? At the end of the day,
it's only we got the. I always say we have the Chihuahua effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, we recognize ourselves as a dog. That's another dog.
Right.
We don't know that we're the smaller dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? We think
in America,
we think we're just as big as the others.
Doing it again.
We think we're just as big as the other dog, but it's not the case.
That's crazy. What's up? And I close.
Okay, July 1st, Tennessee is the first step.
Somebody from wearing their natural hair to work.
Right.
So that's why I figured that. I was like, man, listen, I'm saying it's 2023, and I know, it's definitely still a lot of racism in America. Matter of fact, deeply embedded. That's what the whole systemic racism thing is about. But they can't be that obvious no more. They can't be that obvious no more.
17 states has agreed for the Crown Act.
Wow.
Which allows sisters to wear their natural hair in the workplace.
Wow.
Crown.
No, it's only right, man. And we need these things protecting us, because at the end of the day, it becomes an international situation, and that was the whole point of, me going into the fact that the age and time we in right now, with America going all over the world, checking people on how they deal with their people.
Right.
They now it's definitely if it's an issue, you gotta put it on blast because then they know they gotta do something. Because
Okay.
because they gotta they can't on one hand be telling this country that you can't do that, you can't do this to that people. But on the other hand, you got the foot on what's the knee on this dude's neck. What's his
Yeah,
name?
George Floyd.
Yeah, you follow. On the other hand, you got the George Floyd situation.
They just
going
killed they just killed the teacher in California. Same way. He had an anxiety attack, and they pulled over, and it went from pulling him over. I think I mentioned this off of my son's page, but I didn't know the ins and outs. First, I didn't know that they killed him. You know what I mean? But and then two, I didn't know how it started. Because I guess he had an anxiety attack, and I didn't know that anxiety attacks are some things that is kind of like it really mess with you physically, like when you have these attacks. And so the police officer pulled them over, and then it went from he was non-responsive and not wanting to speak because he's going through something emotionally.
Wow.
And it went
Wow.
from him
Wow.
going through something emotionally
Wow.
to the point where now he's being detained. And as he's being detained, he's not understanding why he's being detained. So now it's becoming a struggle.
Right.
He's a teacher, mind. He was a teacher, mind you. And now they decided to tase him.
Wow.
And they continued to tase him until he had a cardiac arrest.
Damn.
I just found that crazy because,
That's the one where they were screaming at him.
yeah, that found that crazy because it was like George Floyd.
Right.
You know what I mean? It went from a ticket, some type of ticket that could have been spoken through. It could have been a dialogue versus him having to wait until once the police get there. Now they just want to restrain him.
Right.
You know, they always want to restrain you. You know what I'm saying? Or hold you or use force. Like, who's strong? I'm stronger than I obey my law. Get down, type. But it's crazy.
No, that's
but yeah.
It is.
Difference is a very interesting day and time right now, man.
Yeah, man.
What else is on the news right now?
I don't know, but you think they killed Prodigy? That's a question that
Prodigy.
Me personally, I think they did. But I want to get your thoughts. On
Prodigy, man. They found him in a hospital. I don't know, man. Egg. He asphyxiated from swallowing the egg.
So what had me thinking about that is because I never heard. Of course, I've definitely heard stuff from Prodigy, especially pointing out all the inconsistencies, conspiracies, the Illuminati, so on and so forth. But now, I never heard that video that you played the other day where he was like, yeah, they killed Biggie and they killed Tupac.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? And the government killed them. So, it just had me thinking, I'm like, and we got the video up on the channel too, y'all, because look up Prodigy and Dr. York, because Prodigy was definitely talking about Dr. Malachi York and how he first got his books, and which opened him up to the Illuminati and these different things like that. Rest in peace to Prodigy. And, so definitely check that video out. But it had me thinking, like, they definitely killed that man. They definitely killed that man because his ability to, one, he's respected. You know what I mean? And, I know, I guess, he had some issues with, like, Nori and some Queens issues. I know that, I guess at some point they spray painted over his mural or whatever.
Crazy,
like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they defaced his mural at one point.
Crazy.
Yeah, so because he had issues in Queens, but Queens is from what it seems like is a really volatile area when it comes to the different crews and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, his man was what's that guy name that got killed, man? Dang, y'all know who I'm talking about, man. Dag, was he? I don't know. Was he not? He was on the song with Tragedy Gaddafi. Either which way, one of his mans got killed. Supposedly was killed by Supreme and them.
Right.
You follow what I'm talking about? Then Prodigy aligned himself with. Who's this? He aligned himself with 50 Cent.
50 Cent,
It's
right.
the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, you know what I'm saying?
It's still Queens.
Yeah, but it's still beef. It's a lot of beef. I'm
Right,
thinking like that he was in the middle of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the guy that they killed. I can't think of his name, but check his book out. His book is crazy too. He talked about it in the audio book.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get that audio book again, bro. You know what? I watched it on YouTube. This time I'm gonna put it on my Audible. I'm bugging. I'm putting that on my Audible, and I'm gonna really go in on that joint. But yeah, man, I was kind of, just thinking about it because what made me also sparked it was the Lil C's videos and stuff.
About
Had me thinking
Biggie?
about
Yeah, yeah.
Biggie, and you know what I'm saying, and Lil C's, was recently interviewed on Math Offers My Expert Opinion, and just had me,
I mean,
wondering, like,
Little C's gives it up like how Tony Ayo gives it up for 50 Cent.
or like Bleak.
Bleak gives up for Jay.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah, me too.
I can appreciate
Shit.
that, man.
Me
Like,
too.
cats sometimes don't want to give,
Credit where it's due.
Yeah, what he put me
Right.
on. Like, I'm gonna definitely give credit, man. I mean, Little C's don't want, but I'm gonna keep getting at you, Little C's, because. But now, listening to this interview, I can see why he might not want to battle. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's that guy. He was that guy based on,
Biggie's right.
yeah, like Biggie put him on, Biggie showed him love, and it was Biggie's lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, man.
I didn't know, you know what I'm saying. So, but now that seeing the interview, I get it now. I see why he don't want no smoke. I get it.
So Papoose, who would you have him battle? Papoose and Fabulous would be dope. What do you think? That's Brooklyn?
Yeah, but it's Brooklyn, but it could be Brooklyn, but it's just it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Why not?
It doesn't make sense because
Close to the same era.
Yeah, but
pretty much they really are. They definitely the same era.
You gotta get somebody that's like on
Wordy?
Yeah.
That's what
Papoose
I'm trying to
is
say.
mad
That's what I'm
wordy,
trying to
yo.
say when you say Grand Pooba versus Killer Priest. I'm like,
Yeah,
how
but
can you compare those two?
yeah, because
one is
Grand-
not even in the same era. Two, one is way wordier than the other. It's the same thing we're talking about right now. So that's perfect. But actually,
Yeah, but-
Fab and Papoose are the same era. You follow what I'm talking about?
Grand Pooba Grand Pooba lyric style can complement the battle versus Killer Priest, right?
And how can Fabulous not compliment the battle versus
Because
Papoose?
Papooses words style is so awkward.
No, listen, Fabulous,
Right.
Fabulous is more. Fabulous got punchlines though. That's the same thing. That's what your man is coming with. Grand Pooba gonna come with punchlines. Because he's definitely not doing like the alliterations and it's a lot of stuff he's not doing. He's definitely doing punchlines. It's the same thing that Fabulous is doing, punchlines. So to me, and the difference between Papoose and Fab and Grand Pooba and Killer Priest is that the eras don't match. At least the eras match.
I mean, I agree with that.
Fabulous came out in what, 99?
I agree with that.
And then Papoose came out what, 02, 03? You know what I'm talking about? So that's like right there. That's like, well, I guess, yeah, definitely. Because Grand Pooba then came out when Killer Priest hit the scene. So yeah, that's what I think. I think that'll work, man. But so what do you anything new on the Chrome 23?
Nah,
Nothing
that I know of.
They got their battle coming up soon. Yeah, man. Anything new from nanotechnology?
Nanotechnology?
Yeah.
Not that I know of, but I do know your man is tripping.
Who?
69.
What you talking about that?
He was on a plane, put his location of the plane where the plane was landing with $1 million. Like $1 million, and he's on the gram showing it off like this is where I'm gonna be at. Pop up, I'm there, this is that my location, $1 million. Look to the back. I mean, like, somebody will
That might be fake money. That might be fake money.
keep playing, somebody's gonna take you up on that offer, man.
That might be.
And they're gonna see if that's fake money. I'm just saying, like,
Shouts out to Chris Murphy. Yeah, I think he's still his manager.
I mean, I just think that's kind of interesting. Gunna's getting it up, they're going in on Gunna right now.
Dirk bust now.
Lil Baby?
Situation. Lil Baby's up.
Lil Baby unfollows Gunna.
Oh man, he should have been did that.
He unfollowed him.
I guess maybe he wanted more of the story or whatever. Well,
Yeah.
again, that's if you prescribe to that whole situation.
Lil Baby versus the Baby.
The Baby all day.
The Baby all day, right?
Baby, yeah, 'cause the Baby funny.
But Lil Baby got some lyrics though. Like I be hearing him spit like.
Lil Baby is he dope. I like Lil Baby, but I don't think he would beat the Baby in the battle.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, but the reason I was bringing up nanotechnology and stuff because I keep thinking about that. What's that guy name?
Quincy Jones?
Quincy Jones, yeah.
Pan.
Yes, he's
That's
still
Pan
alive.
himself. Yeah.
He's still, that guy's still alive. With,
I mean, he's been advocating nanotechnology
Right.
for 20 plus years.
What's up with Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter still alive?
Right, he's still alive. He ain't died. I thought he died, but he didn't die. He ain't dead yet. He's not dead yet.
Well, they say that he might be a robot.
Yeah, this guy Jimmy Carter, man. This guy, he's been alive a lot longer.
I mean, when I was a little dude, he was in his like 60s and 70s.
Right.
When I was a little dude, like
He got to be 100 right now, man.
if they say that if they allow the truth to come out, that was supposed to be like 100 plus.
Yeah,
100,
that's a fact.
definitely 100
Oh no,
plus.
you gotta go look. Man. That's a matter of fact. That's what I'm gonna do when we finish. I'm definitely about to check out whether or not his dude's age or whatever. But because of nanotechnology, these guys could damn near live forever, bro.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're a cyborg.
They just. I mean, I think the whole what's it called? Life expectancy just jumped like 5-10 years. You know what I'm saying?
But they said
Right.
40's the new 30.
Oh,
Well, Jay-Z said it. What, the 30's the new 20?
Yeah, I think life expectancy just grew by like 10 years in America. So like, you know, as they keep coming up with, and then, who was it? Did you share that joint that they said that they reversed aging in mice? Yeah, I can look it up, but I'm sure that's through the
So telomerase, yeah.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? So they reversing aging and everything. So between the nanotechnology and then I guess probably sending the nanotechnology into the body in order to tap into those telomerase on the tips of your genetics or whatever. From my man, bro, like Cass is living long. Cass is on Mars. You follow what I'm saying? So what's up with Elon Musk? Elon Musk has got to be like a implant, right? Like not implant, but he got to be part of the CIA, right? He got to be because
I want to say that. To say the guy from Virgin, that guy. He's also
definitely, yeah. I mean, no, it wouldn't be the CIA. It's no, definitely not the CIA.
Okay.
MI6, because he's from London. Yeah, so MI6 is definitely, he's definitely being watched, funded, possibly. You know what I'm talking about? There's no way, bro.
I mean, so I get it. So
do they have enough money to keep? Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do they have enough money to keep independent, keep the government off of them when they touching into realms like, you know, outer space, extraterrestrials, you know, different forms of energy, so on and so forth. Are they able to do? Is their money long enough?
Yeah, a different echelon, man. It's a different
so
echelon.
Their money is long enough to be able to.
Yeah, because I you know what I think is.
Or they're part of the agenda already genetically. They're already like, you know what, we're part of the agenda anyway. We want the same thing the U.S. wants anyway.
I just think that you know when you get to a certain place, and that's like a Jay-Z, right? When you get to a certain place, financially, you're able to hire certain, you become an elite. You know what I mean? So once you're an elitist,
Right.
I think you know.
That's true.
Certain things, you know, you either not on the radar, you're not on their radar.
So what happened with Jeff Epstein?
Jeff Epstein was
He had a lot of money.
Nah, Jeff Epstein, he was dirty though. He like you got a sex ring going on, and you got people within, you know.
They was all a part of it.
Yeah, but then you got caught up. So
right.
the moment you get caught up, and you got all this dirty laundry,
Crazy.
you know what I mean, in your closets,
Crazy.
and they're saying that they're about to go into the house, and nobody ain't clean it up yet. You ain't clean it up. Like, come on.
I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk is working on behalf of the government. Like basically meaning he's working in conjunction. He's not doing nothing autonomously. I'm pretty certain of that. I'm pretty certain that everything he's doing is in line. I think SpaceX, one of their functions as a business is to create, you know, and manufacture on behalf of NASA. You follow what I'm talking about? So they got that account. So, you know, for them to have that account, that's like Lockheed Martin?
Right.
The weapon company.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like all those, brother, like you're not gonna just own a big weapon company.
I'm not gonna say no.
And not be tied in to, so yes, he is an elitist. You did say that.
Right.
Yes, he is an elitist. That's what my point was. He's a part of it. And it's not independently working Like, you know what I'm talking about? On his
I mean,
own agenda.
is he having meetings? They calling him up to have meetings?
Yeah, like the Bilderberg group, like we were just talking
So
about.
he's a part. He's going. He's going.
Most definitely, he goes to those meetings. If not, they come see him. I'm thinking they come see him.
I mean, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just stop right there 'cause I don't know. You know what I mean? But
I
know.
a lot of people got to utilize reasoning.
I know we don't know.
It's so much that we're not going to be able to have insights to. But the point is, the fact if you're the sole person going to Mars right now, the sole, because I don't
He's
hear
not the soul. Is Elon Musk,
that Senate shit.
NASA, Elon Musk, and the Virgin guy. And then you
He's
got
like that to me. I mean, he's the biggest one that I'm hearing that is
Elon
having
Musk.
the most success.
most success.
But that's, I mean, like I haven't heard Virgin has sent anything in made it to Mars. If I was talking, I'm sure NASA has. You know,
That's right. He only been in the
his whole thing is to orbit the planet. I
Orbit,
think,
yeah.
but I will have to go, see more what he's got going on. But him too.
That's like saying
he's with them too.
That's like saying what's that?
He's with them too because they create
Red Bull. Red Bull goes out there in space,
but
and
that's the Chinese elite. Because Red Bull is a Chinese company. You follow what I'm talking about? But not Red Bull only. Their job is not to go out there and like that. Their job, what's it called? They just funded that one guy that jumped out of space or whatever. That jumped from whatever one of the ionospheres or whatever into the Earth to break some record.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, they're not sending ships up into space. But people like what's your man name? The one you was talking about from Virgin. Either way, Richard Branson, right?
Richard Branson.
People like Richard Branson and Elon Musk are actually working on behalf of creating the space for those elite people to be living on Mars one day. Period. Because they trying to get off the planet. And I remember when Jack Ma and Elon Musk was kind of debating in China at some panel, and he was like, "Yo, why y'all trying to leave the planet when we got enough issues? We got enough issues here. Why y'all focused on, why don't we focus right here? You know what I'm saying? Because they know something that the average don't know, and they trying to get up, and they've been trying to get off this planet for some time now.
Well, they gotta go. I mean, we in the sun cycle, and the sun cycle is happening for the next 6,000 years, and we got into the sun cycle in 1970. So you gotta imagine every year on the year for the next 6,000 years, we're only going to get closer to the sun, and as we get closer to the sun, it's going to be very uncomfortable for a lot of people that cannot deal with the sun in that manner. That goes for black folks too, because you got black folks that's not eating well, that's not conditioning themselves well, and then the melanin is not being utilized properly to how it's supposed to be utilized in order to absorb the sun, absorb the light, absorb the frequencies and everything else, because that's the job of this. The sun is like a generator. It absorbs.
Let me ask you this: Black Americans versus Black British. Who is more connected to the continent?
Continent?
Yeah, to the Africa. Africa. Who's more connected?
I would say the British.
I know.
I would say the British.
Was giving us. Somebody was giving me some talking about. I guess it was hot in Georgia, and they passed out with some guys from England or whatever. But from what I'm seeing, especially with the music going on, like they tapped in to the continent.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Go ahead. Okay. Well, we done now. All right, y'all. We're gonna see y'all tomorrow. We out.